At this very moment, the colossal meteor, harboring the massive swarm of insectids, had already approached the vicinity of Azure Star. In the outer reaches of space, the number of these creatures reached into the tens of millions, densely packed and stretching across a vast swath of the void, emitting dreadful, grating screeches. They exuded an overwhelming aura of ferocity. All at once, they roared in unison, their bloodshot eyes locking onto Azure Star with ravenous hunger. Their shrieks were filled with bloodlust, as if vowing to wipe out all life on that planet. Just then, from deep within Azure Star, a golden streak of light suddenly pierced through the atmosphere and shot straight into the cosmos. It didn't stop, rushing headlong into the insectid swarm. Wherever the golden light went, insectids were instantly annihilated. Against its overwhelming power, their bodies were torn apart, some reduced to fragments upon impact. The insectid commander was startled and quickly turned its gaze. What it saw shocked it to its core. A legion of powerful beings had appeared outside Azure Star, led by a majestic creature with enormous golden wings. That dazzling figure was none other than Emperor Crocodile, and right beside him soared a proud and seductive phoenix. The phoenix frowned, voice laced with disgust. What a foul stench! It's suffocating, Zhu Juan replied calmly, to them. Our aura probably feels just the same. Meanwhile, the Thunder Dragon stood frozen, his eyes wide in surprise. I didn't realize they were already this close to Azure Star. Emperor Crocodile narrowed his eyes, analyzing the enemy. Judging by their numbers, there are at least 100,000 of them. Another flame elemental beast chimed in. Most of them are extraordinary rank 2 and rank 3. Only 8 are rank 4. The Black Raven tilted his head, his gloomy eyes glinting thoughtfully. So, this is just the vanguard, the Thunder Dragon roared. Wipe them all out and preserve their corpses as gifts for our master. With that, his figure turned into a blazing streak of lightning and tore through the air. Leading the charge against the insect horde, the insectid commander let out a vicious roar in return. Kill them all. Leave none alive. But before it could act, a divine golden light engulfed it. A terrifying surge of spiritual energy erupted, sweeping out in a 100-meter radius like a tidal wave, drowning everything in its path. All the insectids within that zone were reduced to dust. That devastating strike had come from Emperor Crocodile, whose roar echoed with unmatched might, even after the energy wave faded. Crackling golden lightning still danced around his jaws. A red-armored insectoid stammered in horror. See, Commander. In a single blow, Emperor Crocodile had obliterated the commanding general of the insectid army. In that exact moment, the Thunder Dragon closed in. The red-armored insectoid could sense death approaching, terror in its eyes, cold sweat pouring down like rain. Before it could even react, the Thunder Dragon's claws slashed down, crushing its skull. Simultaneously, Zhu Juan's legion of beasts charged forward, each one transformed into a streak of shimmering light, moving with blinding speed as they descended upon the swarm. Their iron-hard bodies and fluid, twisting movements turned them into living weapons. Wherever they passed, flesh and blood flew, bug bodies pierced and shredded into pieces. Not far away, the phoenix spread her fiery wings. With a single powerful flap, she unleashed a blade-like wave of flame that tore through space itself, slicing straight toward the insectid army. But just then, a bizarre insectid appeared. Its mouth resembled a monstrous hand with 5 claws, towering hundreds of times taller than the phoenix. It resembled a living mountain. Startled, the phoenix cried out, "What kind of monster is this? Why is it so enormous?" Ignoring her panic, the giant insect fired a green energy beam from its mouth that pierced through the void, shooting straight at her. Though she dodged in time, the beast wasn't done. It let out a terrifying roar and unleashed its deadliest poison technique. From its jaws spewed a thick, green, mucus torrent, like a toxic waterfall, rushing toward the Black Raven, taken by surprise. The raven stiffened. Before him surged a wave of slimy liquid, reeking of death and deadly poison, threatening to engulf everything in its path. Without hesitation, he activated his secret clone technique. In the blink of an eye, a flock of black ravens materialized, deftly evading the toxic wave. From a distance, Emperor Crocodile caught sight of the scene and bellowed, "Leave that one to me." As his voice faded, Emperor Crocodile burst forth with extreme speed, his figure becoming a bolt of lightning that tore through space. shooting straight toward the giant green insect. In a flash, he transformed into a radiant spear of light, piercing directly at the insect's chest. The impact ignited a brilliant flash in the dark expanse of space. The force of Emperor Crocodile's charge sent the massive insect hurtling into a nearby meteor, triggering a colossal collision. Dust and debris billowed as the meteor itself shattered, exploding in a brilliant burst that lit up the cosmos. At the same moment, the flame vultures in the rear didn't remain idle. They unleashed their ultimate techniques, launching countless blazing fireballs like red comets toward the insect swarm. A sea of flames erupted, engulfing the entire swarm in destructive inferno. Screams of agony echoed through the void, as charred insect corpses rained down like ash, roasted bugs suspended in the emptiness of space. On several meteors, the nests of the insect horde, dense layers of ice suddenly began to spread. This was the doing of White Serpent, who had made her move. Under the relentless storm of ice and her overwhelming power, wave after wave of insectids were frozen solid and shattered into fragments. At that very moment, White Serpent's cold, sharp gaze shifted forward, locking onto a single point. Slam! A powerful foot stomped down on solid ground. A new insectoid had appeared, its skin a reddish-brown hue, exuding an incredibly fearsome aura. Without uttering a word, it launched a devastating sonic wave at White Serpent. Immediately after, the insectids behind it followed suit. As if receiving a command, they all unleashed sonic blasts at once, converging into a massive tidal wave of sound that surged forward. Tens of thousands of insectids screamed in unison, creating a deafening, destructive sonic tsunami that roared toward the ranks of Thunder Dragon and the other beastkin. The soul-crushing pressure was palpable. Thunder Dragon trembled, cold sweat dripping from his forehead. Those screams pierced directly into his soul. Then, from deep within the shadowy hives, another swarm began to emerge, from a distance. It looked as if the entire sky had been blackened by the dense mass of insected bodies. An overwhelming second wave. Thunder Dragon roared in alarm. Another swarm is coming. A new insected commander emerged, shrieking a sharp, chilling command: tear them apart. Leave nothing alive. Now. At the forefront of the meteor swarm, where the insectids had established their stronghold, the landscape turned pitch black, swarming with countless writhing bugs. And at this very moment, deep within Azure Star, Divine Tree Yuzi was nearing the completion of his elemental fusion. The swirling spiritual energy surrounding his enormous trunk was beginning to calm, little by little, signaling the imminent breakthrough. Inside the hollow of the divine tree, the green orb that was Yuzi remained tranquil, unmoved, unaware of the chaos unfolding beyond. Whether he had sensed the impending cosmic catastrophe remained unknown.